Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to learn class 10 English chapter The Gift of Magi's question and answers, and this is part 2 of the question and answer session. Part 1 we have already seen first 10 questions and we have also seen the explanation of this lesson. For your convenience, I'll be putting the link in the description box of these two videos. And students, let's proceed on with the today's part 2 question and answer session. But before that, if you're viewing my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of my latest upcoming videos and so that you don't miss any of my latest videos. And do watch the video till end. If you like it, hit the like button and share among your friends. So students, moving on to the question and answers of this chapter, we were doing comprehension questions. Under that, answer briefly the following questions, and we have already done 10 questions. So today we are going to start with question 11. So question 11 is, the writer says that the platinum chain was like Jim. How? So when we go through the chapter, when we come to know that writer is comparing the platinum chain to Jim. How is that the question? And we have to write the answer. And the answer is, Della feels that platinum chain was like Jim, with characters of quietness and value. The description applied to both. So when we read the chapter, we come to know that Della she felt that her husband was very quiet and had a very good value. He was very simple, like a platinum chain. So that's why the characters which are described here is applying to both of them. She always felt that her husband was very simple and kind-hearted person. So that's why it has been compared to both of them. She felt that platinum chain was like Jim. So this is how you can write the answer, students. Moving on to the next question. What did Della try to fix before Jim got home? So when we read the lesson, we come to know that Della was trying to fix something before the Jim arrives at home. So what was that she was trying to fix? Answer is, Della tried to fix her chopped hair with curls before Jim got home. So Della was trying to fix her chopped hair with curls, making it curl so that Jim could not recognize it. Before he reaches, she wanted to curl her hairs and hide it because she had chopped her hairs and sold it to get the money to buy a gift for Jim. And Jim loved her hair a lot. It was so beautiful and precious for her. So that's why she wanted to hide it. For hiding it, she was curling her hairs before the Jim could come. Okay, so this is one line answer which you can write it. Moving to next question. What was Jim's reaction when he saw Della without her lovely hair? So when we read the lesson, we come across that after seeing Della's hair, which was all cut now, it was all chopped away. What was Jim's reaction at that time when he saw it for the first time? So answer is, Jim was dumbstruck upon seeing Della. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read. So, students, Jim, when he saw the chopped hairs of Della, he was dumbstruck. Means he was not having any words to speak there. He was so shocked to see it. His eyes were fixed upon Della. He was just staring and gazing what has happened to her hairs. And the expression that he had in his face was not able to be identified. Della was not able to read his expression. What is he trying to say? Whether he's angry, whether he's shocked, or whether he wants to tell something, nothing. She was not able to recognize the expression. Okay, so this is what the answer. You can write in these two simple sentences. Moving to next question. What was Jim's gift for Della? Give a brief description of the gift. So when we read the lesson, we get to know that Jim's gift was bought by Della. So what was that gift and how did it appear? We have to describe it. So Jim's gift for Della was a set of combs that Della had worshipped long in a Broadway window. They were beautiful, expensive combs made of pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful brown hair of Della. Okay, so Jim had bought a gift for Della and it was a set of combs. And that set of combs Della had worshipped from very long. Means she had a desire to have the set of combs for her beautiful hairs, but she was not able to afford it. So it was just her wish that she had the set of combs. So that was the gift what Jim had bought on that day. And they were very beautiful comb set, and it was very expensive. It was made out of pure tortoise shell, and many jewelries were put into it, and was decorated just the shade to wear in beautiful brown hair of Della. And the shade of that comb's color was also very beautiful, just as it would just suit the brown hairs of Della. Okay, so this is how you can describe the gift of Della. Next, where were the gifts useful to each other? We see in the lesson that both of them, Jim and Della, had bought the gifts for each of them. But was that useful when they bought it and they gave to each other? So answer is no. The gifts were not useful to either of them. Why it was not useful? Because both of them had just sold the precious things. Della had sold her hairs, and the gift was comb. So no hairs, so no use of comb. And Della herself had bought a chain for the platinum watch for her husband. But the husband had sold that platinum watch to get the gift for Della. So it was neither useful for any of them. Okay. Next one. How did Della react when she saw Jim's gift for her? So the question is, when Della saw the most wanting gift when it was in front of her and it was bought by Jim as a gift for her, how did she react for it after seeing it? So answer is, there was an ecstatic scream of joy when Della saw Jim's gift to her. Then immediately there was a quick change to hysterical tears and wails. She recalled how much she had yearned for them. She hugged them to her bosom and at length looked up with dim eyes and a smile and assured Jim that her hair would grow very fast. Okay, so students, when we read the story, we come to know that this Jella, when she saw the script, she was very happy. She screamed out of joy, and she was not able to control her happiness and smile. But immediately, her face had a quick change, and her eyes had a hysterical tears, and she started wailing. She started crying there. She recalled how much she had yearned, how much she had waited and wanted the comb set, and that was present in her hand today. But alas, she had no hairs with her. She had already cut it. She hugged that to her bosom and the length. She hugged that gift and then looked up with the dim eyes and a smile and assured her husband that her hairs would grow very fast and then that she can use that comb set for herself. So this is how you can write the answer, students. Moving on to the next question. Jim and Della both gave up something dear to them. What does it tell us about them? So when we read the story, we come to know that Jim and Della both sacrificed something for each or other, and which was dear to them, which was very dear to them. They had sacrificed that thing. So what does it tell us about them? So answer is, we have been already told that Jim and Della are a loving couple, even in the extreme condition. The desire to give something to each other. So when we read the chapter, we come to know that Jim and Della, they are a very loving couple. It was already said to us in the chapter. And even in extreme condition, whatever may be the situation, they had a desire to give something to each other. Okay, so both keep their attempts to buy a gift a secret from each other. Both of them wanted to buy a secret gift for each other, and they did not reveal what it was. They wanted to give a surprise and a secret gift to them, to each other. In order to gather the money needed to buy a gift, they sell the most precious things they possess. And in order to buy that precious gift, they needed more money. So, for that sake, to have more money, they sold their precious things which they had possessed from so many days. And it was only one thing which they possessed because they were already poor. We know the financial condition. And they sold that precious thing which they possessed to just buy the gift for each other. Though their gifts proved to be useless, they gained in love and satisfaction with each other. But alas, when they bought the gift at last, it will prove to be useless because neither of them had the pair of it. The combs now did not get the hairs to be combed, nor the watch chain had the watch where he can put it. So it was useless, but then they gained in love and satisfaction in each other. They had a very strong bonding now. The love had grown up more, it had become more and more stronger now, and they were satisfied with each other. So this is what the answer. Next, 18th one. O. Henry's stories often blend humor and pathos. The description of the card bearing Jim's name is an example of this. Can you identify one more example from the story? Means here the author O. Henry's his story are always found to be blend with humor, with entertaining, with laugh and comedies. So the description here of card bearing with Jim's name is an example of that. Okay, so can you identify any more examples in the story which suggest you humorous plus pathos, both of it? So let's read the answer and understand it. The mention of the pied glass between the windows of the room is one more example of O. Henry's humor blended with pathos. So we come across this mention of a pier glass, okay, which was between the windows of the room. So that is one example. And a very thin and a very agile person might be observing his reflection in the rapid sequence of longitudinal strips, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. Della, being slender, had mastered this art. When we read the story, we come across that because the financial condition was not so good of this Della and Jim, they had no mirror, and Della used to see in the window pane, in the window sides of that window where she could use it as a mirror, and it was so thin, and she used to just observe the reflection, and that is how she used to behave. So this one sentence, and this is something which is humorous, which is added and blended by O. Henry in this chapter. So Della, being slender, being weak and thin, she mastered this art of seeing herself in that window pier glass which was there, where she could see herself in a longitudinal strips, and she used it as a mirror. So this is a mixture of both humor and pathos, which we can give one more example from Henry's story here. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, students. Who were the Magi? So you have to say, according to the chapter, who were the Magi? We have already read in it. So answer is, the Magi were the wise men who brought gifts to the newborn Jesus. According to the Bible, the Magi were the three kings who traveled to Bethlehem, somewhere from the east. So we have a small information about Magi. Who are those? They were those wise men who used to bring gifts to the newborn Jesus, who had brought gifts to the newborn Jesus. And this is according to the Bible. And it also mentions that this Magi were the three kings who traveled to Bethlehem, somewhere from the east of the country, east of the world. Okay, so these were the Magi who had brought gifts for the newborn Jesus. So moving on to the next question, that is, what is the writer's last word to the wise men of these days? Means, what is the writer trying to say to the wise men of these days? So answer is, the writer says that these two, Della and Jim, were the wisest of all those who gave gifts. Of all who gave and received gifts, they were the wisest, they were the real Magi. So while concluding the chapter, the writer says that these two, that is Della and Jim, they were the wisest among all those who gave gifts till now. And of all who gave and received the gifts, they were the wisest among them. And these were Della and Jim. And they were called as real Magi by this writer. He mentions that these were the real Magi who had done so much, sacrificed so much in order to give the gifts for each other. Okay, so this is how you can write this answer. And with this, we come to end with the first main of the question answers from your textbook, students. I hope this video and this question answers were useful and informative for you all. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, do hit the like button and share with your friends. We'll be back soon with the other such questions. Thank you.